The cuffs clicked tight around Ethan Hayes' wrists, the cold metal biting into his skin as the deputy sneered. "Turn around, soldier boy. You are under arrest." Ethan didn't flinch, didn't speak, just stared straight ahead, his eyes steady as steel. The crowd outside Whitaker's Souvenir shop murmured some chuckling others, pointing at the man in jeans and a baseball cap. To them, he was just another troublemaker in a sleepy Virginia town. But what they didn't know, what those deputies couldn't even guess, was that the man they'd cuffed was a tomb guard, one of the elite chosen to honor the fallen at Arlington. And somewhere miles away, a colonel with a chest full of medals was already speeding toward Willow Creek, ready to turn this small-town mistake into a national reckoning. Before we dive into this story, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. And if you believe that values like honor, courage, and sacrifice still matter, join us in keeping their legacy alive. The sun hung low over the rolling hills of Virginia, casting long shadows across the quiet streets of Willow Creek, a small town just a few miles from Arlington National Cemetery. Ethan Hayes, 32, stepped out of his BEP rental car, his boots crunching on the gravel of a parking lot outside Whitaker's Souvenir shop. He wasn't in his tomb guard uniform today. No navy blue coat, no keepy hat, no polished shoes, just jeans, a worn leather jacket, and a baseball cap pulled low over his close-cropped hair. But even in civilian clothes, Ethan carried the weight of a soldier, shoulders square, eyes sharp, every movement deliberate. He just finished a shift guarding the tomb of the unknown soldier. 21 steps, 21 seconds. The rhythm of honor etched into his bones. Now he was here for something simple, a gift for his mom's birthday. The bell above the shop door jingled as Ethan stepped inside. The air smelled of stale coffee and cheap plastic. Racks of postcards, miniature American flags, and knockoff military medals lined the walls. Behind the counter stood Carl Whitaker, 45, a wiry man with a permanent scowl and a graying buzz cut. His eyes flicked up from a newspaper, sizing Ethan up like he was trouble waiting to happen. "Can I help you?" Carl's voice was gruff, already laced with suspicion. Ethan offered a polite nod. "Just looking for a gift. Maybe a necklace or something nice for my mom." Carl snorted, folding his arms. "You don't look like the gift-buying type. What's your deal? You one of those wannabe soldier boys who comes in here pretending to be something you ain't?" Ethan's jaw tightened, but his voice stayed steady. "I am just here to shop, sir." Carl leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Yeah, right. I know you are. Kind. Always strutting around, acting like you own the place. You military." Ethan hesitated. He didn't like flaunting his service, especially not to someone like Carl, who seemed to have a chip on his shoulder the size of a tank. "I serve." "Yeah, serve, huh?" Carl smirked, tossing his newspaper aside. "Bet you were one of those desk jockeys who never saw a real fight. Let me guess. National Guard weekend warrior?" Ethan's hand twitched at his side, but he kept his cool. He'd faced worse than a bitter shop owner, Taliban ambushes, IEDs, the screams of his squad mates in the dark. He wasn't about to let this guy get under his skin. "I am a tomb guard, Arlington." Carl laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. "A tomb guard? You don't make me laugh. Those guys are the real deal. You look like you're just playing dress-up." The door jingled again, and Sarah Coleman, 28, stepped inside, a local reporter with a knack for sniffing out stories. She had sharp brown eyes and a phone always ready to record. She caught the tail end of Carl's jab and raised an eyebrow, lingering near a rack of keychains, pretending to browse. Ethan reached into his back pocket, pulling out his military ID. "Here is my identification. I am just here to buy something." "Okay." Carl snatched the ID, barely glancing at it before tossing it onto the counter like it was trash. "This looks fake. You think you can fool me with some photocopied nonsense? I've seen enough of you people coming through here causing trouble." Ethan's voice stayed low, but there was steel in it now. "That's a federal ID, sir. You might want to take another look." Sarah's fingers hovered over her phone. She hit record, keeping the device low. Something told her this wasn't just a petty argument. Carl leaned over the counter, his face red. "Don't tell me what to do in my own store. You are acting suspicious and I don't like it." "I am calling the cops." Ethan's eyes narrowed. "Here is no need for that. I am not causing any trouble." Too late. Carl grabbed the phone on the counter and dialed, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Yes, sheriff's office got a guy in here acting real sketchy. Looks like he's up to no good. You better send someone quick." Sarah's heart sank. She'd seen this before. Small-town folks jumping, especially when someone didn't fit their idea of normal. Ethan didn't move his hands visible, his posture calm, but alert like he'd been trained for moments like this. Minutes later, tires crunched outside and red and blue lights flashed through the shop's grimy windows. 2 deputies burst in. Deputy Tom Randall, a burly man in his 40s with a crew cut, and Deputy Jake Ellis, younger, leaner, with a smirk that screamed trouble. Randall's hand was already on his holster. "All right, what's going on here?" Randall barked, his eyes locking onto Ethan. Carl pointed. "This guy's causing a scene. Says he's some big-shot soldier, but I don't buy it. Check his ID. It's probably fake." Ethan raised his hand slowly, palms open. "Officers, I am Staff Sergeant Ethan Hayes, active duty Army Tomb Guard at Arlington. My ID is on the counter. I am just trying to buy a gift." Ellis snorted, picking up the ID and giving it a cursory glance. "Tomb Guard, huh? You expect us to believe that you look like you are just passing through, stirring up trouble?" Randall stepped closer, his voice low and menacing. "Let's see your driver's license now." Ethan reached for his wallet, moving slowly. "It's right here along with my federal travel orders. I am on official business, heading back to Arlington after this." Randall barely looked at the papers before tossing them back onto the counter. "These don't mean nothing. You could have printed these off the internet for all we know." Sarah's jaw dropped. She stepped forward, her phone still recording. "Excuse me, officers. I am a reporter with the Willow Creek Gazette. That ID looks legitimate to me. Maybe you should verify it before jumping to conclusions." Randall shot her a glare. "Stay out of this, ma'am. This doesn't concern you." Ethan's voice cut through the tension, steady as ever. "I am asking you to call Arlington National Cemetery. Contact Colonel James Monroe. He'll confirm who I am." Ellis laughed, folding his arms. "You hear, this guy thinks he's got a direct line to some colonel. Turn around, hands behind your back." Ethan didn't budge. "Sir, you are making a mistake. I am not resisting, but I am not going anywhere until you verify my identity." Randall's face darkened. "That's it. You are under arrest for obstruction." Before Ethan could respond, Ellis grabbed his arm, twisting it hard. Ethan tensed, but didn't fight back, his training kicking in. He knew struggling would only make things worse. The cuffs clicked shut, cold metal biting into his wrists. A small crowd had gathered outside. Locals, a few tourists, even an old man in a Vietnam. Sarah's voice rose sharp and clear. "You are detaining an active duty soldier without cause. I am recording this and it's going live right now." She hit the button to live stream her phone, capturing every moment. The video feed showed Ethan calm but cuffed, his military ID lying ignored on the counter, and the deputy's aggressive stances. Comments started pouring in. Veterans, locals, strangers, all outraged. Inside, Carl smirked, arms crossed. "That's what you get for acting like you were better than us." Ethan's eyes met Carl's unflinching. "I don't think I am better than anyone. I just want to do my job and honor the fallen." The old veteran outside pushed through the crowd, his voice shaky but firm. "Let that man go. He's one of ours. I served in Nam and I know a soldier when I see one." Randall ignored him, shoving Ethan toward the door. "Let's go, tough guy." Ethan's phone, still on the counter, buzzed loudly. The screen lit up with Colonel Monroe's name. Sarah grabbed it before Carl could, holding it up. "Officers, this is Colonel James Monroe from Arlington. You need to answer this." Ellis hesitated, but Randall snatched the phone, his face sour. "What?" Colonel Monroe's voice boomed through the speaker. "This is Colonel James Monroe, Arlington National Cemetery. You are detaining Staff Sergeant Ethan Hayes, a tomb guard under my command. Release him immediately and stand by for further instructions." Randall's face palled, but he tried to save face. "We didn't know, sir. He was acting suspicious." Monroe's voice was ice. "You had his ID in your hands. You chose not to check. Release him now." The crowd outside was growing, phones out, recording everything. Sarah's live stream was blowing up with thousands of... The old veteran started chanting, "Free the soldier." Others joined in, their voices rising. Ellis fumbled with his keys, unlocking the cuffs with a scowl. Randall muttered something under his breath, avoiding Ethan's gaze. Ethan rubbed his wrist, his expression unreadable. He picked up his phone, the screen now cracked, and spoke calmly. "Connell, I am secure, awaiting orders." Monroe's voice softened slightly. "Stay where you are, Sergeant. We're coming to you." Within minutes, the roar of engines filled the air. 3 black SUVs screeched into the parking lot, their doors flying open. Colonel James Monroe,